Oh boy. You know exactly the play we are talking about in this video. Because when it comes to Detroit Red Wings captain Dylan Larkin, there isn't a Getty image of the specific moment just when he's trying to get up over here. But oh my goodness, it seems like the March curse is absolutely real for this team. Dylan Larkin, everybody. Ay, ay, ay. I'm going to say it right here. I'm recording this audio the night of Friday, March 6th. It is still trade deadline day. But if there is an update on Dylan Larkin, D-Larks, D-Boss, by the time this video is public on YouTube, then we'll get to it later. But for now, I wanted to talk about the situation. Because earlier yesterday for you, today for me, the Red Wings ended up losing 3-1 to the Florida Panthers. Regulation loss. Matthew Tkachuk scored a hat trick, much to my dismay because my opponent in fantasy hockey has Matthew Tkachuk this week. And Larkin, he ended up having to leave the game. He got a point on the one goal that was scored by Alex DeBrincat, so good on him for that. Was it Alex DeBrincat? Let's just go out there and check out the box score. Yeah, it was Alex DeBrincat. Look at that. What a guy. But this is the play where everything kind of went wrong. Because Dylan Larkin, upon coming towards the front of the goal to take the shot, ends up getting caught weirdly, and then he falls to the ice. He's writhing in pain. He slowly skates off under his own power, and he leaves. But upon video review, this is where things get really, really ugly. And it's ugly in a way that makes you cringe so bad. Larkin, left-handed shooter, is fully positioned in this way. He's actually trying to take a shot here. It's very obvious. Like, look at the posture. He's winding up for it. But you have the stick of Florida defenseman Gustav Forsling that gets in the way a little bit. And it causes Larkin to move the stick forward, but the puck doesn't really go with it. Larkin stops. He tries to pivot. And then while he stops in this motion, watch that same left knee. Oh my goodness, that is not a good look for Dylan Larkin and the way his body is supposed to move. The slow-mo replay makes it look like one of the worst things we could have seen because it looks like that edge of that left skate is jammed into the ice. Now, the commentator did go out there and say, hey, like, Gustav Forsling kind of speared Larkin a little bit, and that's what it looks like, banged him up. But I'm looking at the guy's knee. Look at this posture right here. That is not healthy. He pops right back up, and then he starts writhing in pain. He's got a terrible expression on his face there, man. Dylan Larkin, an absolute warrior like he is, ends up taking a really weird stop on a dime with the Florida defenseman in the vicinity. It's not like Larkin got hit. Larkin may have gotten speared a little bit, yeah, but he wasn't body checked or anything. He just stopped. And that was a very dangerous, just a total travesty of a play, which left Todd McClellan with this update after the contest. McClellan said they don't think it's going to be a long-term injury for Larkin, but obviously, it still needs to be fully assessed. Looks like it may not be as bad as we all feared. Fingers crossed. I don't think I'm going to jump off a bridge, but obviously that also needs to be fully assessed. You jump, I jump, right? And you know what else? You can have that door. I don't even want it. When it comes to Dylan Larkin, of course we recognize his importance, his value, his leadership to the Red Wings, but with his absence, this is where the Wings may have themselves some trouble. Yes, they got David Perron. Yes, they shipped out Soderblom. Yes, they shipped out Buchelnikov. And yes, they acquired themselves Justin Falk. But the Red Wings always had center depth issues. And now, Dylan Larkin could be out for a while? Oh my gosh, are the Red Wings going to be able to survive? Is the March curse really going to swallow this team alive again? The Red Wings were top 5 in the NHL at one point. They were one of the best teams in the league. They technically still are. And you're telling me that this is what happens on the day of the trade deadline? Dylan Larkin goes out there and gets this freak injury? Even if they don't think it's going to be a long-term thing, it still needs to be fully assessed. Let's go out there and read some of these other comments over here. Watch it be all because of this March curse thing, and it just repeats itself. I've seen all sorts of twists and such that hurt like hell and don't actually damage. I've also seen minor-looking injuries and seasons. Another reply says, yeah, I hope Todd is right, but he does seem to have a habit of downplaying injuries. This narrative came up recently, and I don't understand it. I genuinely don't think Todd has been intentionally misleading about injuries or otherwise reported in any less vague way than the rest of the league. In fact, he's usually pretty open about what he knows at the time, it seems. He said he doesn't think it'll be long-term. He also said he still needed to be checked out. It's not like Larkin is walking around the locker room. I mean, McClellan said that the Kane injury was no big deal, and then he was out for 2 months. So, he also said the Gibson injury was no big deal, and Gibson played tonight. He also said the Larkin cross-check from Vegas was no big deal, and he played tonight. So, there could be some disagreements here as to whether or not Todd McClellan and his assessment of these things is proper. Let's go out there and read some of the other comments over here on this thread. I can't do this again. 4 years in a row is too much. It's probably inevitable at this point if Larkin is out for an extended period of time. This team doesn't have any depth at the center position. When's the trade deadline? That's coming up, right? I feel like something needs to be said to Priority. People seem to forget it's their fault for all of our problems since they bought a corner of the wing wheel jersey. I remember that year, and everything fell apart once that patch went on. Yeah. Priority, man. Priority. With that said, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this Dylan Larkin thing. If there is another update by the time this video is up on YouTube, then we will talk about it as well, hopefully. I mean, if the guy is just good to go, then okay, like, fine, disregard this video, that's fine, but, things could be looking real rough soon, who knows. Thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.